Every time I hear somebody say anti-aging medicine is impossible, you can't change the aging process. Well, let's take a 55-year-old. He's 30 pounds overweight. He's got high blood pressure. He's got high cholesterol. He's lethargic. His sexual function is shot. His bone mass is down. His muscle mass is down. This guy looks like he's ready to slide right into the grave. Now we take this guy, we get him on the right hormone replacement program, the right nutritional program, we get him exercise, doing weight training. His bone mass changes, he's lost 30 pounds. His lean muscle mass is much higher, his fat percentage is way down. His blood pressure is now dropped, his cholesterol has dropped. We have completely changed the physiology of this person. Have we anti-aged this person? Have we de-aged him? Absolutely we have. Have we changed his chronological age? Of course not. But have we changed his physiologic age? Absolutely. This is a different person now. And that's what anti-aging medicine is all about.
We talk about the longevity dividend, and our explanation for that is as follows. The longest lived cohort of women in the United States are Asian American women in Bergen County, New Jersey. They live 91.5 years of age on average. That's the longest living population on the planet that we know of. 91.5 years of age on average. And they are enjoying the benefits of anti-aging medicine. They're well educated, they have money, they're right across the river from New York City, and they have the access to the highest technology medicine. They have the best insurance, they have the best health care, and they're Asian, and so their focus is on prevention. And so they enjoy the benefits of the best of anti-aging medicine, versus a similar cohort in South Dakota who are American Indians living on a reservation, female American Indians, whose life expectancy is about 64 years of age. If you look at that difference, it's about 25 years difference. Now, why is that? Why are women in South Dakota living on an Indian reservation, who are getting free health care, by the way, who are getting the very best government-offered HMO, Indian service health care that's available, free, and they live 64 years of age, and the women in Bergen County who pay for their health care are living 91 years of age? What is the difference? The difference is just that. It's the anti-aging preventive medicine model of healthcare versus the government's model of HMO, state-issued healthcare. That's a 25-year difference, and that's the longevity dividend as it stands today.
I have a lot of concerns, especially about food, with my background as a nutritionist, because on average we eat about 2,000 pounds of food in a year. And if you think about it, that's a lot of matter. So you can imagine that if we're taking in good, healthy components, we're going to change our physiology in a beneficial way. If we're taking in things that are processed or artificial or have toxins like persistent organic pollutants, a lot of these chlorinated compounds that are now making their way into our environment, into the groundwater or into the air, into our food, into our soil, then we start to get a lot of these metabolic type of problems. So definitely chronic disease is on the rise more than ever. We have skyrocketing rates of obesity, of inflammatory conditions, and so many of these things are really interrelated if you think about it. So you've got obesity, and something like 66% of the population is overweight and obese together. And if you look at obesity and kind of the overlapping conditions, you look at things like type 2 diabetes or cardiovascular disease and metabolic types of diseases. So I think that this whole chronic disease tide that we're seeing, it's really a tsunami. And we really have to reverse this. And what I think that we can do as a whole organization is really look at lifestyle therapies. It's almost going back to basics.
We have all become consumers of the internet. So we buy books from Amazon and all kinds of products on the internet. And there's a lot of nutritional products. And there's a lot of claims by these nutritional products. The FDA allows certain claims, like you can say you can support, but they can't say that they can actually do these things. But naturally, companies will stretch the law the best they can, and you'll see a lot of things that are called phytoestrogens. These are estrogens made by plants that'll get rid of your symptoms. Well, it's partially true. Phytoestrogens mimic, they're similar in structure and chemistry of the estrogen that a female makes, but they're not the same thing. Will they relieve symptoms of menopause? Good chance that they will. But more importantly is what it's going to do for your body. Is it going to help bone growth? The phytoestrogens won't do it. Is it going to give you heart protection? Phytoestrogens aren't going to do it. There are thousands of actions in the body that hormones are involved in, and the phytoestrogens are not strong enough, so you have to have a replacement hormone that is bioidentical, and it always, always, always will require a prescription. So again, buyer beware. Find someone you can trust that you can discuss these issues with, so you can make sure you're getting the right medication that suits your needs.
In conventional medicine nowadays, the average doctor visit only lasts 6 to 7 minutes. So doctors, in their defense, they don't have time to figure out what's really at the root cause of what's going on. So we're a society that's now used to what I call a pill for every ill. You come into the doctor's office, you complain of something going on, they write you a prescription for it. You complain of something else, they write you another prescription. There's no getting to the root cause of what might be the issue. There's just one quick example in my practice. So many women come into me saying that I went to my gynecologist or my primary care doctor with mood symptoms and PMS type issues, and my period was a little off, and I had bloating, breast tenderness, all the typical premenopausal issues. And the doctor gave me Zoloft. Now, while that helped for my mood, it didn't help resolve any of the other symptoms. And I say to them, well, that's because you don't have a Zoloft deficiency. You probably have a progesterone deficiency, because replacing their progesterone or dealing with the reason why the progesterone is low in the first place, that's going to help resolve all of the symptoms she's feeling, including the anxiety, including the mood issues, and the physical issues, the breast tenderness, the bloating, the PMSy discomfort. Instead of treating the symptom, how do I get rid of the disease or the problem or the ache or the pain or the symptom in the first place? Now that's what this area of preventive medicine is looking at. We're looking at what is the root cause of your disease and of your problem. And you really do need to spend more time with patients and educating patients so that they understand the importance of getting at the root cause.
The thyroid stimulating hormone and that which is produced by the thyroid affects every single organ and every single cell in the human body. We have a hypothyroidism issue, and it is an epidemic in North America. One of the reasons is our exposure to the halide group, which is chlorine, bromine, and fluoride. Swimming pools and the showers, they brush their teeth with fluoride, they get in the hot tubs with bromine, and we're doing it as children and adults. And it is a known fact, and any doctor will tell you this, standard allopathic doctor or your anti-aging doctor. When one has a continuous exposure to the halide group, again, chlorine, bromine, and fluoride, their thyroid will not convert properly at a cellular level. It actually changes the DNA, and it stops your conversion in the mitochondria. That's a problem. So it begins to affect children. It begins to affect the adult, and it does cause a person to be obese. It does cause them to get to a place where they can't lose weight. It doesn't matter what they do. And until they deal with the fundamental problem of their hypothyroidism, weight will always be an issue.
Energy medicine is nothing new. Acupuncture, if you take that for example, is a form of energy medicine and has been around for thousands of years. And acupuncture uses a grid, the grid of the meridians, and the meridians are energy pathways. And when a trained traditional Chinese medicine doctor, for example, would look at their patient and there would be neck pain, they would know where to place an acupuncture needle in a either a meridian point or in an acupuncture point to redistribute energy and to redistribute the flow of fluid. Now, when we take of a more modern approach, which is the OnDoMed system, OnDoMed takes the body off the grid. We do not need meridians and acupuncture points to stimulate the body to relieve tension, to relieve inflammation, and to relieve pain. And what OnDoMed does is we are sending vector-driven focused fields, pulsating fields, into the patient's body while feeling the patient's radial pulse, so stimulating the system, and then we are receiving the feedback. We can get to the underlying reason of why the pain is there and stimulate the dysfunctional side responsible for the pain.
The telomere is like the cap on the end of a shoelace, and it's a cap on a chromosome, and in essence that cap prevents fraying or dissolution. So as that cap deteriorates and gets shorter over time, it means cellular deterioration at a faster rate. So it actually is a very accurate predictor, not necessarily pinpointing this person has a life expectancy of 27.2 years, but pinpointing whether a 60-year-old has cellular function of a 40-year-old or an 80-year-old.